It's another very early morning start for me this morning, which is just how I like it. Best part of the day. Mist just laying on top of the field over there. I'm going to be walking in that direction, and another mile long walk today through 3 or 4 more gates in the hope of catching some big fish today. I'm going to be targeting the bigger fish. You probably might have seen my last video where I cleared out a swim. All being well, it'll be vacant. I would have thought so. And I'm going to head off down there and employ different tactics today to try and target much bigger fish. Let's hope it works out well. I'll see you down by the bankside for another Fishing Tail Films. See you soon. All the way down the side, down the edge of this next field to my chosen destination. What a lovely morning, beautiful countryside, nice and peaceful. Nearly there, thank God. Well, as you can see, this is the swim I cleared a couple of days ago for my latest video, and today's going to be a brand new video, and I'm going to be approaching today's Fishing Tail Films episode a lot different. I'm going to be targeting much bigger fish. Let's get the gear set up. Well, the rod's out in place now, and I'll go into a bit of detail how I'm fishing today. Let's have a look at the baits that I'm going to be using, and I've mixed up a dark ground bait mix, which is actually the Sensus Roach 3000, that, and also Grosgardon, which is that liquid mix there. I absolutely swear by this stuff. It's got a nice sweet smell, and the fish love it. Now, in this ground bait mix, got some pellet, got a little bit of hemp, sweet corn as well, and then baits that I'm going to be like hair rigging, or a selection. I brought a selection along with me. Got some marine halibut durable hookers, 8mm. Got some Ringers 10mm chocolate orange. Some Swim Stim 6mm hookers, hooker pellets. Now I've got some meat, which I think may very well do me a favour today. Let's hope so. I've got some meat furter. I've never actually used these before, the bigger bait, and I've got a little mixture of some 12mm boilies there. They're the old Code Reds, still got a few of them knocking about, and some much bigger drilled halibut pellets. Got a plane going over my head, hopefully you can hear me. Got sweet corn, which I think is going to catch me fish today, and some feed pellet, which is a mixture of sort of scratting pellets, all different sizes there. There's 4mm, 6mm and 8mm. Also feed some hemp in that bag there. Always like to put a bit of hemp, and then a good old piece of bread flake and some liquidised bread, in case I want to switch tactics and baits a little bit later on. So they're the baits that I'm hoping is going to sort out some better stamp fish. Now, as you can see, my rod's in position there, and I'm fishing in that deep hole because it's about, if you remember on the last video, it's about 13 foot deep there. It's a big hole, and I've had some good fish out of this swim. I've had bream out of here, I've had chub out of here. There's also barbel, a few barbel in this stretch as well, and no doubt there could be some tench as well. I don't think there'll be many tench, but if I was a tench, I'd probably be living in a peg like this. So that's the tactics. Well, that's the baits for today. And tactics wise, got me 12-foot Prodigy Grays Specialist twin tip. Got a 2.5 ounce tip on the end there, as you can see. Got my Dower bait runner reel loaded with 10 pounds line. Got the free spool facility on that, which is good. And at the business end, which I'll show you a bit later, got a ground bait feeder, the core and run ring system, and at the moment I've got a 15-inch towel. Started off with a size 16 hook, and it's spiked into a small boilie. So that's how I'm going to start off, and let's see what develops as the day goes along. Well, the rod's in place. Just put a piece of meat on, a little cube of meat, and just feed it over the top with some pellet. And I've been encouraged to see that there's some fish feeding bubbles, not actually over me feed, but to the side, so that's encouraging. Hopefully it'll move over onto me baits. Another beautiful morning by the riverside, out in the middle of nowhere. Just how I like it. Fantastic. Birds are singing. I ain't seen a kingfisher yet, but no doubt he'll make an appearance at some time. It's going to be, I think, waiting tactics today. Well, the 2 days ago was all about bite a chap off, really, from gudging on maggots. Well, I brought no maggots with me today, no caster. It's just the baits that I showed you a bit earlier. Going to sit out for a bigger fish. And I'm using a ground bait feeder. Every now and then I'm topping up over the top with a ball of ground bait, just to keep that feed going in, to build the swimmer. That's what it's all about, getting a bit of bait down there to try and attract the bigger fish into the swim. I've had no little taps at all on the tip as yet, so the little fish are leaving the baits alone, which is good. I know there's quite a lot of fish topping around the swim, a lot of small stuff. I'm just thinking, like, later in the year, if I can get on the river. Hopefully I will. The rains will hold off. Nice deep hole down the edge. Perchy time. Feels very perchy. So I'll be giving that a go, bringing some lobworms down, maybe a little ledger link, or even if the conditions allow, a little perch dibber, which would be good. It's always good to have plans for next trips. It always inspires me to look forward to the next trip. Well, that's a setup that I'm using today. Coral run ring on there. Ground bait feeder, a 15-inch towel, and I've got a piece of meat hair rigged onto a size 16 hook. See how that goes, see how that pans out. So I've got a selection of other baits and other feeders. I could go on a straight bomb a bit later on. Just an underarm cast is all that's needed. And small stuff there. After all the loose offerings coming off the ground bait feeder. Pull tightly back to the tip. Set the bait runner and get ready. If it weren't for the planes coming over, you just wouldn't hear anything at all. So peaceful, apart from the birds singing and insects and bees buzzing around. A lovely part of the Kent countryside. Well, I've been fishing for about 20 odd minutes now, and I've just started to get my first indications on the tip, sort of like a little tap 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 using meat. So obviously some interest being shown, maybe from small fish at the moment. There's still not over me baits, but there's still some feeding bubbles coming up in the swim as well, little sort of pinprick, and you can see the bubbles move along, so there's obviously fish moving about down there. Just want them to move in onto my ground bait area, and I'm sure some action. I'm going to give meat another 10 minutes, and then if not, I'm going to switch over to a piece of corn and see if that will make a difference, because I've got a good variety of baits. Going to give them like sort of 20-minute spells, keep changing over, keep sort of rotating the baits, and just to see if that can entice a bite. I may be fishing for like maybe 1, 2, 3 good bites today. Who knows? It's hard to tell. Could be a red letter day, or it could be just the odd fish here and there. Obviously if I was on maggots and casters, I'll be getting, well, I would have had a few fish by now, but like I say, I've disciplined myself to leave the maggots, the casters at home, the worms at home, and just bring down some bigger baits in the hope of attracting some bigger fish. If you don't try, you never know. Feeding bubbles right over my ground bait, so the fish have moved into the area. Wow, that's exciting. Question is, what species of fish is it? Probably bream, I would have thought. I'd settle for a nice slab. just seen the most amazing sight. I said that earlier on that there's kingfishers fly up and down and work the river. Well, I've just seen two at the same time chasing each other. They come underneath the tree, sort of come right round the bend, the curve of the swim-on fishing, and then shot off like that behind each other, like two Spitfires, two blue flashes, and just disappeared round the corner there. Absolutely amazing sight to see. I wish I'd had the camera on, because it might have even picked them up. But amazing, straight round the bend, the shape of the river, and shot off. Unbelievable. It's amazing. It's worth being here just to see that. It's incredible. One of my favourite birds, along with the good old robin. Run the changes. I've taken the feeder off, and I've just gone over to a little link ledger, just to sort of scale it down a little bit in the hope that it can tempt to bite. There's enough food, enough feed down there now on the bottom, so I can afford to come take the feeder off, and if I want to feed, I can just hand throw it out there, because it's not that far into that deep hole, into the deep swim. Just thought I'd just try something a little bit light, you know, a bit more subtle. So a little link ledger on there, and just got a piece of corn on there, double piece of corn, to see if that attempt to proper pull round. I've been getting a little taps. I did actually catch a little tiny chublet on a piece of bread, which is obviously not what I'm after. So I'm just trying something, just trying something a little bit different. I might even go on the straight lead a bit later as well. Just sort of cast around the swim a bit. Feeding bubbles have stopped. I've not seen them for the last sort of 30 minutes. It's not to say the fish are still not there. They could well be there. I'm only one bite away from a smiley face. Well, I'm still waiting for my first real bit of action, and still changing the baits over, back out on bread flake now, hoping that will tempt to bite. I must admit, sitting here behind a tip rod does make me very sleepy. I'm kind of used to working a stick float or a waggler. I must admit, because it's so peaceful here, apart from the plains. I found myself almost nodding off a couple of times, which I don't want to do, because that's probably when I'll get a bite. But it's such a relaxing way of fishing, and but it does make me sleepy, I must admit, especially if you're waiting for bites like I'm doing, and it's just the nature of feeder fishing sometimes, especially on a slow moving bit of the river, which is what I'm on today. Might be different if I was on a faster moving stretch with the tip sort of bouncing around in the current, but not a lot is happening, so it's making me a bit sleepy, but I'm relaxed. And that's the beauty of fishing, isn't it? Just going out places like this, just chilling out, you know, detoxing the mind, because it's very much needed sometimes. And yeah, up early in the morning, best part of the day, mist in the fields, by the riverbank. Sun's coming out now, which is not good. As you probably guessed, I don't really like the sun being out when I'm fishing, as many anglers don't. Overcast conditions always seem to be a lot better. Let's put another piece of bread flake on. Must admit, I'm not even getting the little tap bites from the smaller fish, which is surprising, especially using bread. Little underarm cast, halfway across. Sinking slowly. I think it's going to be one of them days where you're just going to get a bolt, you know, a bite out of the blue sort of thing. The old tip's going to go bolting round, and probably when I've got my eyes half asleep. Well, in pure desperation, I found some artificial maggots, and there's a result. So yeah, a little gudgeon, which is actually my first fish of the session today. And he took a liking to 2 artificial fake maggots, the Enterprise tackle ones, and there you go. It saved me from a blank. A lovely little gudgeon. Well, I'm going to persevere with the double fake red maggot, because it could fall a bigger fish, and it's one way of finding out if they're down there, if they're natural. Well, if you can call a fake bait natural, but in appearance it looks natural, so hopefully it might do the trick. It's worth a go. The other baits are not working. I'm just getting little taps, and well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Let's give it a go. Might even, you know, might even fall a nice big roach or something. I've got some fake casters as well, so I might give that a go a bit later as well. If it's going to produce fish and bites, then it's got to be worth a go. How many times I'm going to say that? Well, it's looking like the conditions are against me now. The sun is beating down on the swim, which means it ain't going to improve the fishing anymore, that's for sure. And it probably fish better a bit later on this evening, but of course the summer are long days, and I'm not going to really hang around until the few hours of this evening, but it's been an enjoyable morning, I must admit, coming down and giving it a try on the bigger baits. The gudgeon saved the day on fake maggots, so I haven't blanked, and I've got it on film to prove that, but it feels like a blank, I must admit. But I did give it a go, trying, you know, bigger baits to see if there was any bigger fish down there that would be tempted. I'm surprised that I've never really picked anything up on sweet corn and pellet. But the thing with rivers, especially this section of the Upper Medway, they probably just want the natural baits like worms, maggots and caster, and it's just a case of trying to feed off the smaller fish in the hope of of landing a bonus fish, but it's worth a go. I've still enjoyed it. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video as well. All the scenery, all the flowers, some butterflies as well, and some damselflies flying around enjoying the sun. But it's been good, and if you've liked it, please give it a like. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do. There's plenty more coming up soon on Fishing Tail Films. Look after yourself, and I'll see you again soon.